Welcome to Sports Court. I'm Tamara Holder. George Gibney, an Olympic and Irish national swim coach, is a known pedophile to the Irish government. He sexually assaulted his students from 1966 until 1982 and maybe longer. But Gibney isn't a convicted sex offender. In 1994, the Irish High Court dropped 27 counts of indecent assault and unlawful carnal knowledge, but only on the basis that too much time had passed from the time his crimes occurred until the filing of the criminal charges. Sound familiar? Bill Cosby? So why does it matter to us? Well, Gibney immediately fled to the United States, but he did so legally. So for 20 years, Gibney has been bouncing around the U.S., working in the hotel industry and more, maybe even coaching other students. He's currently hiding somewhere near Orlando. Journalist Irwin Muchnick is on a mission to find out how this dangerous man got here. He joins me now via Skype. Welcome, Irwin.
Thank you, Tamara. Good to be here.
Thanks for joining me. So I want to know, how did George Gibney get into the United States?
Tamara, it's possible that he got in merely via a lottery visa. It's been suggested that he got in through a program in the 1990s called the Donnelly visa. And it's possible that he got an extraordinary visa because of his professional qualifications. However he got here, he would have had to have been truthful to the question on the application as to whether he had ever been criminally charged. And there might have been references, sponsorships, recommendation letters from people in the swimming community and in the American swimming community. And that's really what's behind my Freedom of Information Act quest.
So I want to get into that because you're saying words like it's possible or there might have been this that occurred, which goes to the point that you have filed a Freedom of Information Act request, which citizens can do, and it's with the Department of Homeland Security because you want to know answers instead of just possible this and possible that. Did you get the file?
That's correct, Tamara. Last spring, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, in response to my FOIA, said there was a 102-page Gibney file. They produced 4 pages, 3 of which were information online about the fact that Gibney is on an abuse child watch list. The other 98 pages were withheld in their entirety on various privacy ground exemptions, which I'm challenging right now in federal court in San Francisco.
And the withholding of that information, the government provided you with what's called the Vaughn Index. So they outlined what's in those documents that they didn't disclose to you, right? And that was, I believe, back in October?
That's correct. And in the Vaughn Index, where they describe the 98 pages of withheld documents, we can discern that many of the pages are law enforcement records, which raises its own set of eyebrows. And it appears, reading between the lines, that Gibney applied for U.S. citizenship in 2010. We don't know how that resolved. But to get to your main point, all questions that I believe the American public and the Irish public deserve to get answered.
So I was reading their response, and they say that they conducted, they being the Department of Homeland Security, they say that they conducted an adequate search, that they were responsive, but then they also said that disclosing this information to you would be an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. Then they went on to say that they're the ones to determine this, that there shouldn't be an in-camera review where the judge looks through and says, you get this and that. So I just want to know, do you have a speculation as to why the government is fighting so hard to keep this information a secret?
Tamara, my best guess is that the government just routinely says no in situations like this. There is a fundamental principle of personal privacy. If I were applying for my own government file, it would be one thing, but a third party raises difficult questions. But there are no absolutes in this. There's also a public interest standard, and what my excellent attorney, Roy Gov't, will be arguing on February 12th before Judge Breyer in San Francisco is that there is a compelling public interest in at least some of this material being disclosed about how Gibney got here and what the background was of his application for a visa and perhaps citizenship.
Do you have any idea or any inkling on which way the judge is going to rule? And what do you expect to happen after February 12th?
Well, what I expect, or what I certainly hope, is that Judge Breyer, either after inspecting the file himself in camera, and it's not excessively burdensome, it's just 100 pages, that he will come to some place in the middle. I mean, there is a position between releasing nothing to me and releasing everything to me, and there is a tool called redactions where innocent parties' names can be blacked out, and still the essence and the substance of the narrative of George Gibney can still be told to the public. That's my hope and my expectation.
Well, I thank you for doing this, because I think that a lot of people, when they think Homeland Security and people coming into this country, especially this day and age, they think about terrorists. But we also have people like Mr. Gibney who are a threat to public safety and have ruined lives. We know about all of these victims who are suffering, families and lives, and it's just terrible. So thank you so much, and we hope to have you back on the 12th or thereafter to talk about what next.
Thank you very much, Tamara.
Thank you all for joining me. Sports Court is adjourned.